Good afternoon. Today we are reviewing Unit 9. So we're going to see how much we can get through. We don't have a lot of time left in class. I do want to remind us that when we are preparing for a test, it is important that we look back at the very front. And we say, okay, M6R9, we're going to have those reviews on the practice test. So the practice test will help me review for what I need for the test. But remember, on that practice test, we will not have PAR 8 questions on the practice test. They will be on the real test. So it's your responsibility, oh my goodness, to look all the way back at book 1 at PO4 to know what PO4 was. So it's your responsibility to look that up so you are prepared to look up PO30 and so PO4 is from book 1, PO30 is from book 2, and then PO46 and PO51. So 46 and 51 are from the last test. So hopefully we really remember that. PO4 and PO30 are from a long time ago. So 46, I can create and apply a function table for a given equation. So we need to be able to make those function tables. And 51 is I can find the slope of a line given two ordered pairs. We just reviewed that. So finding that slope of the line with two ordered pairs, hopefully we remember that. But it's your responsibility to look those up to make sure you're ready for the test. So now let's look at Unit 9 starts with CO52. We need to know what the X and Y intercepts are. What is the ordered pair for the X intercept? Grace. That Y is always 0. So it's where it crosses that X-axis. Y will be 0. So my Y-intercept, the X is always 0. So it's where it crosses the Y-axis. So you need to remember, X-intercept, the Y is always 0. It's where it crosses the X-axis. Y-intercept, the X is always 0. It's where it crosses the Y-axis. Any questions on this first one? All right, so CO53, I can identify the X-intercept and Y-intercept of a line given an equation. So to find the X-intercept, what do we have to do? To find the X-intercept, how many of us are following along in our binders? What do we have to do? Fiona?
We do 3x plus 8 times...
Nope, I'm just looking at this right here. Oh, to find the X-intercept, what do we have to do, Fiona?
Solve for x and y equals 0.
Solve for X when Y equals 0. So you're putting a 0 in for the Y. And then you solve it with opposite operations. When it's the Y-intercept, you solve for Y. When X equals 0, you put a 0 in for the X and do opposite operations. Kyle, are you paying attention? Are you? Okay, thank you for being honest. Can you please pay attention? So, for the X-intercept, you put a 0 in for Y and solve for the X. For the Y-intercept, you put a 0 in for the X and solve for the Y. Any questions on that? Coming back? It's been a while since we've done it. Don't overcomplicate these first couple. They really were that easy. We've gotten more complicated as the time has gone on. These first couple were not overly complicated. So remember, the first couple really were that easy. Now, next one. I can graph an equation in slope-intercept form. That means we need to know what slope-intercept form is. So we know the y equals mx plus b. We're all saying that. We can all recite it. What do those things mean? The x is what?
The X value.
X value. What is the y?
Y value.
What is the m?
Slope.
And what is the b?
Y-intercept.
If it is the y-intercept, what is the x? So if we're going to be graphing it, and we know that the y-intercept is 8, what ordered pair am I graphing? If we know that, let's say it's y equals I know my b is 8, what ordered pair am I going to graph? I have to be able to graph this. Fiona? The y-intercept, 0, 8. So I need to look at that y-intercept and say, oh, my first point I'm going to graph is 0, 8. So if I graph 0, 8, how do I know where my second point is? Damien?
Oh.
I use the slope.
Okay.
So remember, if my slope is 3, what is my rise over run, Grayson? 3 over 1. So I go up 3 over 1. And then I draw my line. So remember, you graph that y-intercept. Remember, you can't do examples on your help sheet. So no examples, but you can write out the steps. Graph the y-intercept. And you could, for the y, if you say step 1, graph y-intercept, you could say 0, y. 2, use slope to graph next point. Right? So you have to remember, you graph your y-intercept, use the slope, rise over run. Where's my second point going to be? If it's negative, it's going down. If it's positive, it's going up. Any questions on this one? If there is no y-intercept listed, what is my y-intercept? Madden? So what would the ordered pair be? If there's nothing there, it's 0, 0. If there's no slope listed, what is it, Claire? 1 over 1. So if there's no y-intercept, we know it's 0, 0. If there's no slope, we know it's 1 over 1. Okay, so you need to remember that. You could even write that. No b equals 0, 0. No m equals 1 over 1. Any questions? Okay, PO 55. I can write an equation in slope-intercept form given the graph of the equation. So we know what slope-intercept form means. Y equals mx plus b, y is the y values, x is the x values, m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So now I have 2 ordered pairs. What do I do? What do I have to do for this one? For PO 55, what's my first step? So step 1 will be what? Jude?
You do x2 minus x,
y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 for the slope. So you have to find the slope. Yeah, that's one of our review ones. It's a PAR review. I think it was PO 59. 51. Thank you. 59's on this one. Oh, this is PO 55. Yes. Okay, so I find the slope. What do I have to do? Grayson?
Find the y.
Yep. I need to find my y-intercept. So on this first page, that's easy because my y-intercept is given, right? I have 0 for an x. How did we do it on the second page when it wasn't one of the ordered pairs given? Or was it always given? Oh, it was always given. So your y-intercept, look for the ordered pair that has a 0 for x. That tells you your y-intercept. So look for the 0 for the x, and you'll know your y-intercept. Then you use that information to put it into y equals mx plus b. If we don't have y equals, is that correct?
No.
It'll be marked wrong. If we forget to write the x, it will be marked wrong. You have to put every piece of the y-intercept form on there. Okay? You must have it in y equals mx plus b. Any questions on this one? What? CO 56. I can write the equation in slope-intercept form given the equation in standard form. What important thing do we have to remember to do here, Henry?
Was it?
We need to do opposite operations. Add or subtract first, and then we divide. And remember, when we're dividing, every term gets divided. So we have our 2 steps. You're going to want to write those on your help sheet. So hopefully you were filling out your binder page. So you'll be able to write your 2 steps on your help sheet. Move the x term to the other side using opposite operations. Divide every term by the coefficient to y. The coefficient is that number that's right in front of the variable. So you divide every term by the coefficient. Then it'll be in the y-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. It must look like that. Y equals mx plus b. Must be final answer in that form. Big thing to remember. I'm putting a star here. If I was you, I'd put it on your paper. Watch for negatives. Every year, I see people forget those negatives. You could even say negative, minus means negative. Minus means negative. So here, when I have 2x plus 7y equals 7, that's a positive 2x, so I have to subtract 2x. So when I put it into my final form, that minus 2x becomes a negative 2. So minus becomes negative. Any questions on this subjective? Any questions? Okay, moving on. CO 57, I can write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form given 2 ordered pairs. This is the one where we're not always given the y-intercept.
Good afternoon, students. These are your Monday afternoon announcements. The only real announcement we have for you is a reminder to please sell your options with the raffle tickets. And there is tennis today. If you are in tennis, you are meeting your coach outside the gym. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Remember to be kind, be brave, believe, trust in the Lord with all your heart.
This one we are finding our slope. Remember, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So find your slope, find the y-intercept. We are up here, we were given the y-intercept, but down here we're not given the y-intercept. How do I find the y-intercept if I'm not given the y-intercept? Claire?
Put in like the numbers in the
So, you are absolutely correct. We put in an ordered pair into our equation. So here, when I find 8 minus 4 over 9 minus 7, I find that to be 4 over 2. I'm going to simplify it to 2 over 1. So I know it's y equals 2x plus b. And I need to solve for the b. So that means I'm going to take my x and my y and I'm going to plug them in for the x and the y. So my y is 4, my x is 7 plus b. So then I do my opposite operations. 2 times 7 is 14. It's a positive 14. I want to subtract 14. So I get negative 10 equals b. Now I take that and I put it into the y-intercept form. So there are a lot of steps on this one. You need to make sure that you walk through every step. We know how to find the slope. We know how to find the y-intercept. Now we put it all together in slope-intercept form. Any questions on this one? Grace? Go quick. Will? Mr. Schultz hasn't brought me the math packet yet. So, yes, that's missing. I haven't gotten the pre-algebra packet yet, so as soon as I get it, I will get it to you. Also, super quick. All right, so any questions for CO 57? Let's look at CO 58. I can determine the relationship between two variables shows direct variation. What is a direct variation? That direct variation, you know, Gabe?
If you can find like y divided by x.
So the direct variation means it's proportional. So when we do the constant of variation and we have y divided by x, they all equal the exact same thing because it's proportionate. So direct variation means it's proportional. So we use that y divided by x, and we can tell if a direct variation with a function table, they're all equal. So the constant of variation is all the same. Remember, you have to find it for every single one because we will have one like this one, I believe it was, where it was the very last one was different than the three above it. So you have to find that constant of variation for every one and see if they are all equal. If they are equal, we have to put it into the slope-intercept form. So if my constant of variation was 2, if the constant of variation is 2, what is my slope-intercept form? Damien?
Y equals 2x.
How did I know that it would be y equals 2x? How did I know that constant of variation goes in front of the x? Grayson? There is no B with a direct variation. You are correct with that. So our constant of variation is the same thing as our slope. Y divided by X is that rise over run. So we know the constant of variation is also our slope. So you just put it in for as the slope, the M. So constant of variation. Will, where am I? I am not at the back of the room. I do not know why your body is turned backwards. Just because you are feeling confident on this does not mean you get to be rude to me. Does not mean that you distract Peyton from his learning. And Peyton, it's your responsibility to not talk to him when he turns around. Because otherwise that's being rude to me. We know how to, what to do with the direct variation, not direct variation. You will have some where no, it's not a direct variation, and you would just write no direct variation. If our constant of variation is the same for all of them, you must write it in slope-intercept form, if the directions say it, which I'm pretty sure it does on the test. Okay.
Can we just do N?
No, you're going to write no, because it's a yes or no question.
Should use an extra O.
All right, CO 59. I can find an equation of direct variation given one exists. So, what important thing do we need to remember here? Lately? Y varies directly with X. Remember, you want to go through and find your Y's and X's. So you know what number you plug in for the Y, what number you plug in for the X. Remember, first we find we have to find that slope, Y divided by X. So put it into your slope-intercept form. Put in what you know, your Y or your X, to find the missing, to answer the question. There will be one that makes you do multi-steps, just like our homework. We know how to do it, just go slow. Too many of us get overconfident, I know what I'm doing, and we go too fast and we miss important parts of information. I say it time and time again, we go too fast. We miss important things. So, Henry, make sure you go slow on the practice test. Make sure you understand what you're doing. If you have questions on that practice test and you go through it, you skip the ones that you just don't know, and then you get the answer key and you look it up in your binder at the end, and if you still don't understand it, come see me. If it was oh, that's right, that's what I have to do, make sure you put it on your help sheet. That's what the help sheets are there for. There's lots of information that we need to remember what to do. What steps do I do for which objective? That's why we have a help sheet. Use it. Okay? So you can add to your help sheet after that practice test if you're still not sure on anything. Come ask me questions if you really don't understand, because I don't want people being upset on Wednesday when it is test day. Thank you so much to my friends that are not packing up right now, because I'm still talking. I am normally after schools on Wednesday and Thursday, but on Thursday I have some appointments to go to, so I will not be here. So I am only after school on Wednesday of this week. So just Wednesday, and I know some people are using my room to work on History Day, which is totally fine. Just know I won't be here Thursday. If you are watching this at home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Please be ready for that practice test. Have a wonderful day.